the WWE need to bring her in to enhance the Wyatt Sicks, which is not going over as I think they thought it would? Or does Alexa Bliss say, I'm okay financially. You guys want me as part of this deal. You got to meet my thing. And like you said, Sid, it's a different company now. You know, she was back in the McMahon era.
What is going on, you guys? Welcome in to the WrestleBinge by Sportskeeda YouTube channel and the Sportskeeda Wrestling Facebook page right here. As always, Rick Ucchino, SP3, and Bill Apter filling in once again for Dutch Mantel on a special edition of Smack Talk. No live show this past Friday, so we are here to recap what happened Saturday night's main event in San Antonio, Texas, but also want to hit on a couple of quick news pieces here with you, if that's all right, Bill. Kind of get your reaction.
I'm receptive to anything.
Well, and as somebody who's been around the business for a long time, you kind of know how the inner workings between company and talent relations can go. And one person who has been in the news a lot recently is someone we have not seen in WWE in nearly 2 years now at this point, and that is Alexa Bliss. Now, there are multiple outlets that are reporting that Alexa was supposed to come back at the Raw and Netflix premiere in Los Angeles. She was going to be involved in the Wyatt Sicks storyline. She ended up being pulled from that event. Obviously, she did not show up. And the Wyatt Sicks have now subsequently been moved over to SmackDown. Don't know if that has to do with those two things coincide with one another or if they're coincidental. But we find out now, again, reportedly, PWI out there saying it's a contract dispute. It's a contract issue. Now, Alexa Bliss left the company 2 years ago, Royal Rumble 2023, gave birth to her child. Great. She's been working on coming back, but now apparently the issue is WWE wants her back, obviously, welcoming her with open arms, if she'll work under her old contract. Alexa Bliss and her team want a new contract.
You think you know all the wrestling stories? There's more you haven't heard yet. Join us on Backstage Pass.
Kind of interesting here, and they are now at a stalemate. What is your reaction to all of this, Bill?
Well, my reaction, of course, what else can it be? It's just like a major baseball player or football player who can't come to terms with the contract with the company, but I have a feeling they will work something out.
I mean, SP3, I can kind of see both sides of this, right? Because one, I've never signed any kind of a contract anywhere near probably as difficult as what Alexa Bliss's deal is with WWE, and especially something under these circumstances, right? But, I'm going to guess it's something along the lines of, extended leave, injury time. We've seen this added onto people's contracts before. That's part of the whole Ray Fenix issue with AEW, is they decided to add injury time to his contract, and it is a deal that he signed. So if WWE feels like Alexa's missed the last 2 years, whatever the circumstances may be, she should be contractually obligated to stay under her old deal. But then if I'm Alexa Bliss and I'm seeing a completely different WWE, especially from a financial standpoint, than it was in 2023, I'm sitting here and I'm going, oh, okay, give me some of that pie, please.
Yeah, you got to understand, she signed her deal, I believe, back in 2022, 2021. This is a whole new world now. This is TKO. This is Netflix. This is yesterday's price ain't today's price. So I understand with Alexa Bliss kind of being in that kind of mindset. And I understand with WWE just being you have 2 years left on your deal. You should honor your contract. So both sides have a point, and I think that's why they're at this stalemate right now. I think that Bill is right, that it's going to eventually come to pass that Bliss will re-sign with WWE, but we're going to have to see her sign a new contract sooner rather than later, even when she comes back, regardless
we need to see who needs who more.
That was my next point.
Does the WWE need to bring her in to enhance the Wyatt Sicks, which is not going over as I think they thought it would? Or does Alexa Bliss say, I'm okay financially. You guys want me as part of this deal. You got to meet my thing. And like you said, Sid, it's a different company now. You know, she was back in the McMahon era there, and a lot of things have changed. They're on a lot more TV outlets. They're financially in a totally different spot, and if they want her bad enough, pay the price.
And on the note of it's a different company, it's a different Alexa Bliss. She's a mother now. Like, her life is totally different. She's got that's why I understand her point of view of wanting a new deal here, because why should I give up a comfortable life of being at home, I've made a certain amount of money. I'm good with that. I got my husband who has a nice little living as well. I could be good. Maybe I do want to come back for the new deal, for the angle with the Wyatt Sicks, but I understand the stalemate here.
Ooh,
both
wait
sides
a minute. She could bring the child on and do a whole Rosemary's Baby angle here.
I don't know if that. I don't know. Child labor laws, what they are. You know what I'm saying? But like, I don't know the whole.
SB3 like that one.
You got to give them like 23 hours off from filming. Like, there's a whole thing you got to do with child actors nowadays. But, yeah, I'm sitting here and I'm wondering who budges first. Like, can't even pretend to know Alexa's motivations, what exactly it is she wants. Like Sid said, she could be a million different things. She may have a price in her head and say, hey, that's it. If not, I'm not coming back. But if she wants to wrestle and she has an extended amount of time on her contract, she may have to sit out another year, 2 years before she can even go to somebody to the competition, to an AEW or a TNA, which I don't know if TNA would even be an option because they kind of in partnership with WWE. 2 years from now, TNA could be WWE. So it's like, what do you want to be? Huh?
That's like saying,
well,
she can sign with NXT. She can sign with NXT.
I know, right?
Yeah, is she the third blonde? You know, we've got Tiffany, we've got Charlotte, and now another blonde.
Yeah, so, I can kind of see WWE sitting here saying, well, you know, let's look at this. We got Charlotte coming back. We got Becky coming back. We just got a report that Asuka's working her way back from injury. We got Tiffany Stratton on the rise. We got Rhea Ripley, who's completely, you know, above and beyond over anybody else in the women's division right now. We still got Bayley kicking around. We got Io Sky. We could fire up Bianca Belair at any time. So, yeah, why don't we just pump the brakes on Alexa Bliss? But at the same time, I'll sit here from a just pure storytelling and an acting standpoint. Alexa Bliss might be the best one they got in the entire locker room. So it's going to be interesting to see who budges first.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, I think they're going to work something out.
And it's very back and forth, because I can also, like you just made the point of all the stars that they have in the women's division, and you have to kind of make the same argument, a similar argument that AEW fans are making with Britt Baker with the AEW women's division, asking the question, has the AEW women's division passed her by? Maybe WWE's asking the question, has the women's division passed Alexa by?
Yeah, and here's another name I didn't even bring up. How's this for a segue? We got a report this evening from Sean Ross at Fightful.com that Jordan Grace has officially signed on with WWE. So there is another name, another powerhouse that is going to be coming in. Bill, how would you like to see her get debuted? I'd be willing to bet a sizable amount of money she's going to be in the Women's Royal Rumble match.
That's exactly what I was going to say, the Royal Rumble. Yeah.
Bringing her in, but the question is, bringing her in, she's had the cup of coffee with WWE, couple Royal Rumble, a Royal Rumble match, some NXT matches. Do you bring her into NXT? Do you bring her on a Raw, SmackDown? Where do you think she fits best in the landscape here?
Well, I think to start her off, she should be the queen of NXT. I think she should be, you know, holding the NXT belt, also going into the Royal Rumble and lasting maybe toward the end. Nobody's talked about what I have in mind for the Royal Rumble. So why don't we break it here?
Okay. What do you got in mind for the Royal Rumble?
What if Jade Cargill comes back? Nobody's talking about that.
I think that's
perfect spot for her to come back and maybe even win it.
I don't know if I don't know winning it. So I see more Jade. I see Jade as if Jade comes back, this is the spot I have in mind.
Remember I said maybe.
Right, maybe. This is the spot I have in mind. Mick Foley, Randy Orton, right? Jade Cargill comes down. She doesn't give a damn about anything but going after the person who she knows attacked her, that nobody else knows attacks her, and she obliterates her almost to the point where she is so gung-ho of getting this person, she ends up eliminating herself and the other person from the Royal Rumble and just starts beating the hell out of them. Now, I think it could be Naomi, it could be Bianca, but we got rumors that Bianca is going to be fighting Rhea Ripley possibly for the World Championship at WrestleMania 41. Because remember, SP3, it was supposed to be Rhea and Liv at WrestleMania 41, and then they moved that up reportedly to the Raw on Netflix premiere. Smart move, I think, on their part. You can move Liv and Raquel into the tag team division, and they'll be perfectly fine. They'll still be featured at WrestleMania, but it does leave them some options of what they want to do with Rhea, whether they want to go with Charlotte again, or whether they want to go with Becky again, or whether they want to break a little bit of new ground here, at least on the main roster, and doing Bianca and Rhea.
Well, it just freshens things up.
Go ahead. It's a new Charlotte. It's a new Charlotte. She looks different. I think her work's going to be streamlined and even better, which is amazing if it's possible, which I do think. I think Charlotte's going to wind up winning, but I think, Jade Cargill is the possible surprise that, again, I don't know why no one else is talking about it.
What do you think, SP3?
Well, I think as far as the Rhea Ripley options for WrestleMania, I think that the choice to move up Rhea and Liv was the right choice. The rivalry had peaked like 3 months before we had the actual blow off. You needed to kind of freshen up the Raw women's title scene, and they have done that because now Rhea has 3 interesting options. You got Io Sky, which is kind of like the hardcore wrestling fan favorite because she's been the best women's wrestler for but underneath the radar, low key, the best women's wrestler in WWE over the last 2 years. And now you want to kind of give her that platform. They did that tease with Rhea Ripley on the Raw right before the premiere on Netflix. So you could pay that off as well. But that's kind of low key. That's not like a WrestleMania main event status. The other 2 options are more that. Becky Lynch again in a rematch from last year because Becky's coming back. She's the biggest star. She's the only, in my opinion, the only woman star that's ever been the #1 star in all of WWE back in 2019. She has that star power that's worthy of going against someone like Rhea Ripley. But I think the far more interesting option is Bianca Belair because you've kept Bianca out of the title scene so long. Her going back against the champion is going to feel fresh. And Bianca and Rhea Ripley has felt like a WrestleMania dream match main event that they just break glass in the case of emergency for years. They've been teasing this thing for like 2 years. I thought it was going to happen at WrestleMania 39 when Rhea Ripley won the Royal Rumble. Just do it. Just cash it in.
Well said, but I'm going to stick to my guns that if Jade Cargill comes back, she's going to be in the title picture.
We shall see.
Can you see Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill in the main event there? I certainly can.
Not right now. Jade Cargill's not ready. They haven't put her in position to be ready for that WrestleMania main event.
I think she looks the part, though. I think she would get gone with the right fever for that. Ready or not, they could make her ready. They can figure something out and make her ready. Rhea can always make somebody look great. She's done it in the past.
My guess, and I don't think it's going to end up being either Naomi or Bianca. I think they're going to go back to a rivalry that they teased when Jade debuted at the Royal Rumble last year. I think the program heading into WrestleMania for Jade Cargill is going to be Nia Jax. I think Nia Jax, that's going to be the big matchup between those two. I think it's going to be Nia's report for a good year. Nia had a good match at Saturday night's main event. Again, Bill, this is something we talked about in the preview. Now that she's dropped the WWE Women's Championship, she's back to looking like the star that she was before she won the belt. Maybe it's she's a little bit more relaxed. Maybe she's getting back to basics. But I thought her and Rhea Ripley had a really, really entertaining match. Kind of an abrupt finish. Felt like they got the go home signal and just said, hey, wrap this crap up real quick. Let's go. But I didn't mean to call it crap because it wasn't. It was a very entertaining match.
It wasn't a crap shoot.
No, not at all. I think those two work really well. I think they work really, really well with one another. And I think Nia Jax and Jade Cargill could be a nice program for WrestleMania season.
Nia Jax against Jade Cargill, you talking about?
Yes.
Yeah,
possibility. I've been teasing that for a year too.
Possibility. I think Nia Jax is tremendous. She's become such a good worker, but I just don't gauge that as a match that the fans would be craving. Just my feeling.
Visually speaking, SP3, I think, you saw the fans at the Royal Rumble, they got into it, and there is a lot of history there. I believe, if memory serves correct, it was Nia who took Jade out of the Queen of the Ring tournament, and then potentially took her out of the United States Championship tournament with that attack and Survivor Series War Games match. So if it turns out to be Nia, there's a lot of history over the last year that warrants this program.
Yeah, I mean, I like Nia Jax versus Jade Cargill. I don't like it at WrestleMania.
I don't either.
I think that if Nia is revealed as the attacker, that's gonna feel kind of flat as a reveal. I think it has to be either Bianca or Naomi to be like the impactful thing that they wanted to be. That the fact that they did the angle in the first place, in my opinion, they haven't put it over enough. We haven't seen their investigation trying to find who the attacker is gonna be. Really, they've kind of just dropped that part of it and focused on being women's tag team champions. So I think that it makes sense within the story that they've been telling on television that Naomi is the attacker, and maybe you could do that on one of the nights of WrestleMania where you put over Jade, she looks good, she gets another win at WrestleMania, and then you could further build to the Jade and Bianca match for probably 42.
Yeah, I also think they could have stolen the AEW Tony Storm thing where Jade comes back and she doesn't remember anything.
Well, the Tony Storm thing didn't turn out to be amnesia, so if Jay just wants to come back and pretend like she has amnesia, they could actually do that. I mean, she got her head slammed against the car windshield. She might forget some things.
That would be a great angle.
I mean, hell, Undertaker still doesn't remember his WrestleMania 30 match against Brock Lesnar. He don't remember a damn thing about it.
I think Jade and Charlotte would also be a compelling match.
Oh, there's just from the sheer look of Jade Cargill, there is so many compelling matches. It's just whether or not she can get her in-ring work to the point where we can have those dream matches on stage. On paper, just from a tail of the tape, so to speak, there's tons of them. There's tons of them in WWE.
But what you're saying, if she comes in and goes after who she thinks attacked her, she could be in and out of there in like 5 minutes.
If that.
That creates a whole new feud,
Yeah, that. Remember, Mick Foley, when he came in, and this is what I'm talking about, when he came in for Randy Orton as Cactus Jack in the Royal Rumble, I forget what year it was.
2004.
2004. So the 2004 Royal Rumble, he literally runs in the ring, gives Orton a clothesline, and they both go out. Like Foley was in the ring for 3 seconds, and that was it. And they just brawled, and that was the build to the WrestleMania match. I would like to see, if Jade is going to be there, them do something similar with her, because it kind of does also protect her too, in the sense that she Drew carried herself. She took herself out of the damn match. She didn't care about winning that matchup, so it doesn't look bad on her account.
She wants revenge.
Yeah, she just wants revenge. Exactly.